The recurring ambition of power is not merely to dominate the many, but to render them governable. Across historical epochs, the techniques of rule change inform while preserving a common purpose: the stabilization of authority through the management of perception, dependency, and consent. The aspiration to reduce plurality into a controllable whole is as old as empire, yet its methods have become progressively more refined, moving from overt coercion towards subtler forms of intellectual and emotional organization. In antiquity, political order relied heavily on visible force and public spectacle. Conquest by arms was insufficient for durable rule. Empires required symbolic and material structures that made domination appear natural. Ritual theater and collective entertainment did not simply distract populations from suffering. They taught hierarchies, normalized obedience, and synchronized public feeling around the prestige of authority. Material provisions further secured loyalty by linking survival to the continuity of the state. In such a system, submission was not only feared, it became practical. The medieval world altered the language of control without abolishing its logic. Authority was increasingly mediated through cosmological explanation. Religious institutions, often intertwined with secular power, offered a total framework in which inequality could be justified as divine order and obedience recast as virtue. This form of governance was especially effective because it did not depend solely on external compulsion. It worked inwardly, shaping conscience and expectation. The subject was taught not only to obey, but to understand obedience as morally and spiritually meaningful. The Renaissance disrupted this arrangement by weakening the monopoly over interpretation. The spread of literacy, the circulation of texts, and the emergence of scientific inquiry diminished the concentration of meaning in a single institutional center. The printing press accelerated this transformation by making ideas reproducible and mobile. Once interpretation became plural, authority had to compete for legitimacy rather than merely demand it. The response was not simply repression, though repression remained important. It was adaptation. Power increasingly sought to influence belief through censorship, persuasion, and ideological contestation. The industrial age extended these processes to an unprecedented scale. Urbanization compressed populations into dense networks of labor and exchange. Mechanized production required disciplined time, standardized behavior, and coordinated institutions. The masses became indispensable to economic productivity and therefore could not simply be excluded or crushed. They had to be integrated. Mass education, nationalism, and mass media emerged as mechanisms for aligning individual identity with state and market imperatives. The citizen became both laboring subject and ideological participant, encouraged to experience participation as freedom, even where structural constraints remain substantial. The informational age intensifies these dynamics while making them less visible. The central challenge for power is no longer only concentration, but attention. Information expands in quantity, while public capacity for discernment is fragmented by overload, speed, and algorithmic mediation. Control becomes more personalized and less conspicuous. Rather than imposing one narrative on all, contemporary systems often distribute multiple narratives across specialized communities, limiting large-scale coordination while preserving the appearance of abundance and choice. The result is not ignorance in the simple sense, but structured confusion in which access to data exceeds the capacity to synthesize it into collective action. Within this environment, modern political systems can be understood as both genuine domains of contest and mechanisms of containment. Electoral competition, policy disagreement, and ideological struggle are real, yet they often unfold within deep structural boundaries established by concentrated wealth, institutional inertia, and media incentives. Citizens may participate intensely while remaining constrained in their capacity to alter foundational arrangements. Such a system does not require a central conspirator. It can arise from converging interests among institutions that benefit from continuity and predictability. The deeper historical patterns suggest that power rarely seeks total destruction of the population upon which it depends. Its more enduring objective is stability through managed complexity. Human beings are not typically eliminated. They are organized into patterns of behavior that support systemic reproduction. This arrangement is more efficient than open coercion because it reduces resistance while preserving the appearance of autonomy. It is a form of governance that functions best when people believe they are acting freely. Yet this is not a closed or invulnerable system. The instruments of control are also instruments of emancipation. Literacy, print, industry, and digital technology have each served both domination and liberation. The same networks that fragment attention can also transmit dissent. The same tools that monitor behavior can also enable cooperation, critique, and invention. Artificial intelligence sits at the center of this ambivalence. It can enlarge capacities for surveillance, prediction, and persuasion, but it can also widen access to knowledge and assist human reasoning. Its political meaning depends on the institutional frameworks in which it is embedded. The question, then, is not whether manipulation exists, for it plainly does, but why so much effort is devoted to refining it across epochs. The answer appears to be that power seeks continuity, and continuity requires populations that are productive, legible, and sufficiently compliant to sustain the system without constant overt violence. Historical change has not abolished this ambition, it has merely made it more sophisticated. Caligula's imagined desire for a single neck was an expression of crude sovereign fantasy. Later ages replaced that fantasy with something more effective, a distributed architecture of psychological, economic, and informational influence. Even so, no system of control is complete. Every regime of influence produces its own contradictions, and every technology of management creates new possibilities for resistance. The human capacity for interpretation, solidarity, and reimagination repeatedly unsettles the designs imposed upon it.